In this video, I'll be breaking down with you the CV I use in getting a job offer at one of the big four accounting firms and also a top tech company here in the UK. And also I'll be sharing with you a document that can actually help you in your job application as an international student. So let's get into the video. So as promised, I'll be sharing with you a document that can actually help you in your job application as an international student, and also some piece of information I believe will make you unique in the job application. But I'll be talking about that later on in the video. Right now, I can't wait to get into the breakdown of the CV. But before doing that, I'd like to talk about the basic mistakes you actually find on a CV. So with respect to the top CV mistakes, I would like you to avoid. One of the most popular one is not keeping your CV to one page. Now, recruiters have just 6 seconds to look at your CV, so you don't want to waste time. You just want to keep it to one page. The only way you go above one page is if you have a wide range of experience. For example, you have over 5 years experience, but anything within 2 years, I genuinely believe you keep it to just one page. Another popular CV mistake I see international students making is putting WAEC on your CV. You don't need to put WAEC on your CV, so just exclude that already. Just keep it to your master's and your undergraduate. Another very popular mistake is in the experience part, you just state the responsibility. No, this time around, you want to make sure you quantify your achievement. What did you achieve in the role? So you want to quantify your achievement using percentages, using figures, and we'll get into that later on in the video. You also want to start the sentence with an action word, something like evaluate, increased, decreased, improved, etc. We'll get into that later on in the video. Another very popular CV mistake I've actually come across is the fact that people put reference available on request. First of all, it's not even reference, it's referee. So you don't even need to put reference available on request, because if you're successful in your job application, the company will personally request for your referee and they will get the reference from them. So you don't even need to worry about this one when you've not even been offered the job. Another popular mistake international students make on their CV is putting their picture. I mean, some people are actually racist, and if you put your picture on your CV, you're giving them opportunity to eliminate you from the job application. I mean, apart from being racist, there's something about human being biased. So the fact that someone see your appearance, how you look, etc. Even for example, let me paint this picture. Imagine you put on an hijab and probably the person looking at your CV do not like Muslims or something like this. They just eliminate you for no reason. So that's on them anyways. But what you can do is to give yourself the best possible opportunity. So take off your picture. If they want to see you, if they want to see the kind of person you are, they'll go to your LinkedIn. Another popular CV mistake that I've actually come across is the fact that people don't put or bring life to the interest segment. They just put their interest, travel, cooking. One way you can actually set yourself apart is that you talk more in depth about what you enjoy doing. I mean, it's what you like doing, is it not? So just talk about it. Where do you like to travel? What's your plan, for example? And you see how I actually do mine in my own CV, rather than just putting I like cooking and etc. So this is one thing, bring your interest segment to life. So with that being said, I'm very happy to break down this CV with you guys, but I'd like to give a disclaimer that there is no perfect CV structure for getting a job in the UK, but I believe this structure has helped me achieve the opportunities I'm wanting. So I'll be looking through my phone and let's get into it. So the first one is the personal detail. In this one, I mean, you can play around it. I just personally put blue. I put my name. I make it big, bold. I put blue here because it's just my favorite color anyway. And just to probably just bring something different to the CV. Nothing special in this part. So the main thing you want to put here is your name, your email, your phone number, and your LinkedIn profile. If you notice, I didn't actually put my location here because I'm actually applying to jobs here in the UK. So there's no reason for me to put that. And of course, if they look through my CV, they can actually see that my phone number shows that I'm living in the UK. So one mistake I want you to avoid is that on your CV, you put your full address. I mean, you don't even know where your CV will get to. Imagine you just put your full address and I probably just come into your house, break into your house. So you have to be very careful. So you don't want to put your full address. What you can do is, for example, if you're living in Huddersfield, just put Huddersfield, UK. If you're living in Sheffield, put Sheffield, UK, and that's it. So moving on to the next part, which is the education. Now, why am I putting education? I'm putting education because in my own case, I do not have so much experience. So I believe that, okay, let me just put my education before my experience. So I fall into the perfect candidate to apply to graduate opportunity. But if you have a professional experience, you're already doing something before you come into the UK, your experience can come because that's the best way you can sell yourself. So that's why in my own case, I put education, but you can still sell yourself massively in your education and work through that. So I actually attended University of Huddersfield. With the format is very consistent, you can see it. And you put the date that you actually start and the date you finish. The reason is that imagine you apply and they don't know when you're finishing, they can actually reject your application. Do you get what I'm saying? So you give them a clear identification of when you're actually finishing your program. One thing I also do is I put in the relevant modules. Now this CV is specifically for consulting. I apply to consulting opportunities. So one thing you can do to sell yourself is that you can put in relevant modules that are related to that particular role. In my own case, I apply to consulting and a bit of finance related role with respect to this consulting. So I put something around strategic management, finance, etc. So I even put it in finance, it's called like 80%. So it's a good way to show the person that you have technical understanding of terminologies in this particular niche or field. So that's what I did. And there's a particular module that I put multicultural diversity. The real name is global professional, but I carved it in a way that I just sell myself that, listen, I understand what it takes to work in a multiculturally diverse environment. So that's basically that part. And I move on to the next one, which is I did my MBA. Listen, you don't have to have distinction. It's not a must. With 2-1, with 2-2, you're still good. But if you have like a 2-2, you don't really need to put your grade point or just, you can just put second class and you just leave it at that. So if you have any scholarship, put it there like myself. I was opportunity to have a scholarship in France, and that's that about that. So it doesn't really do too much with respect to your CV, but it just shows the HR that this person probably have some skills required to be successful in the role. So I move on to my undergrad. You can see that I just put it to the award I was opportunity to get, and that's fine. Like I said, you don't have to have all this kind of achievement. I mean, my point here is keep it concise, keep it to the point, and you don't need to put your WAEC. So it's excluded. You don't need WAEC, and that's it. With this education, you'll be fine in this part. Moving on to the work experience part. In this part, I believe that you don't need to put too much experiences. And also, I believe you should actually select the best possible experience that matches the role you're applying to. In my own case, I applied to, like I said, there are some transferable skills. And another mistake international students make is that they believe that, for example, you want to become an accountant, the only role you can apply to or the opportunities you can explore before getting that job you're looking for is to find accounting roles. No, there's something called transferable skills. I mean, if you can get an accounting role, the better for you. But if you can't, whatever you do, you can still bring it to your CV and look for ways that you can actually sell the skills you've actually gotten. So in this one, I was looking for how I can actually make myself very reputable. And luckily for me, I did some part-time work with respect to promotional campaigns and marketing jobs for the big four accounting firms. So I work with a brand called On Campus Promotion. And you can see I put the location, the period. And one thing I did was I just keep it to just 2 bullet points. Now you can go above this. The reason why I did this one is because I didn't want to repeat myself. You find out that if you have too many bullet points, you're just going to keep repeating yourself. You just want to keep it straight to the point. I keep my own bullet point to 1 line because I don't just want to bother the recruiter. I mean, you can do your way, but I suggest you keep it to 1 line. And I started with an action word like initiated student recruitment campaign on social media, which increased PwC career page traffic by 85%. Do you get what I'm saying? So in the CV, this part is the most difficult thing you can do on the CV, because in the CV, how to cut this thing and think about your achievement and etc. In my own case, you're probably asking, how did I get 85%? It's probably an estimate. So you can estimate these things based on the achievement, and you should be fine in this part. And I went as far. So if you look at this part, I was just trying to show that I have marketing skills in this particular segment, which is also something that is important. So you want to tailor your experience to the roles you apply to, so you can sell yourself with respect to the skills required. And you can see the next one, I talked about organize a virtual workshop program, which increased the Deloitte on campus awareness by 20%. And this one is very straightforward, straight to the point. And make sure that whatever you're writing, you have what you're actually trying to drive at with respect to the skills. My next work experience, this one was like a consulting project. It was very, very interesting. And I actually put it on my CV because it matches the role I was actually applying to. I was lucky to do with my uni. And you can see the role was actually strategy intern. The role in itself was not strategy intern, but I was able to carve it. So it's something you also need to do. Make sure you tailor the role with respect to the particular opportunity you're applying to. I'm not saying you should actually lie, but I mean, it's actually allowed. And you can see it straight to the point. Initiated staff recruitment strategy that saved the international office salary expense of over £33,000. So it's something, like I said, you can quantify your achievement using numbers, and you can see the £33,000 is something that you can easily see. When you see percentage, when you see number, it's something that will interest whoever is looking at your CV. So this is something you can also do on your CV, looking for how you can capture the attention of the person. In 1 second, the person can see the £30,000, for example. And if you look at the next one, led a team of 4 and implemented pricing strategy, which resulted in a 10% revenue increase. Now, one thing you can also do is that look at your achievement and how it actually affects the company in itself. Like I said, you are allowed to estimate, and that's what I've actually done here with respect to this. So the advice I actually have for you in your work experience part is to sit down, think of the roles that actually match the opportunity you're applying to, and think of the achievement you have, and that's how you go about it, and you should be fine in this part. I'm very sure that some people will be asking that, oh, Kolade, you didn't put any Nigerian experience on your CV. In my own case, I didn't really stay in Nigeria. Immediately after my undergrad, I left the country. So that's my own situation. I mean, you can put your Nigeria experience. Some people always say, oh, if you put your Nigeria experience or you put your home country experience, that they don't appreciate it. Don't say that. They massively appreciate it. Many companies are looking for diversity. Many companies are looking for people that are skilled. So the fact that you have experience is something you can actually put on your CV. So moving forward, the next part in my CV is the extracurricular and volunteering experience. So like I said, I knew I didn't have experience. So immediately I came into the UK, I knew I had to volunteer. I had to look for ways I can get that UK experience. So that's why I was just doing many different things that can give me opportunities. To be fair, I didn't even put some experiences I've actually explored in the UK on this CV, due to the fact that I just chose the ones I think are all right. So the next one is the KPMG opportunity. So it's also something you can look into. Attend all these companies' inside programs. For example, I attended Capital One, I attended BLOOMBERG, I attended McKinsey, etc. So attend this one. So the more you attend this program, the more you can network with people, the more you can actually have something you can put on your CV. So this one, I just put it there. I did the Black Heritage program. It exposed me to financial services, commercial awareness, and I shadowed the manager within the finance department. So one thing is clear. I know you're thinking, oh, how does this really help or something? You know, the fact that I actually shadowed the manager at one of the big four is something that is big. It's something that imagine in an interview they asked me to expand on this one. So it's something you can also put in your CV. Success of mentoring, the next one, I actually did our leads, and you can see. Now the reason why I actually define what Success Hub is doing is because it's a small social community. It's a place I actually volunteered, and I just wanted the person reviewing the CV to understand this. So Success Hub is a community established to help African and international students adapt to the UK educational system. Similar approach in this extracurricular and volunteering part. The same way you've actually been doing the work experience part is the same approach you want to use. You quantify your achievements, wherever place you volunteered, whatever extracurricular activity you actually engage in, you want to put it there. Organize referencing and academic writing tutorials for over 70 students, increasing the class average by 15%. One thing you can actually look in this particular place is that you can see that I'm talking about my communication skill, because if you organize referencing tutorial, you probably have a good way of communication, presentation skills. These are kind of things that a consultant will also have. And that's what I'm actually selling here. And that's what they're looking for. Do you get what I'm saying? Increase international students by 20% through awareness and campaign on social media. So this way you can actually quantify your achievement and keep it straight and concise. That's it. The next one is a place I actually volunteer here in Huddersfield, and it's also Huddersfield Literature Festival, and you can actually see it. Straight to the point, I led a team of 6 and successfully organized over 20 events for more than 400 people within set deadline. So I believe that with this, so you have an understanding of how you can actually carve your work experience, and also how you can actually carve your extracurricular segment. And that's it with this particular part. One question people always ask me is that, oh, I have a lot of work experience. Can I still apply to graduate program? Yes, you can apply to graduate program regardless of your age, your experience. It's not a problem. So you should be fine. I'll move on to the next segment, which is the skills and interest. Now, this place, I love this place. This is the most interesting part of any CV, and people always people sleep on this particular part. So look at it. I start with skills, and in the skills, I talk about language skills. In your case, if you can speak French, if you can speak Spanish, if you can speak many languages, so put the level you have to with respect to the language you said you can speak. And please do not lie on your CV, because if you lie on your CV, and unfortunately for you, maybe the interviewer can speak the language you claim to speak, that's a big problem. So it's something you don't want to do. Normally, you're not going to put that you can speak English on your CV, but the reason why I've done this is because I'm an international student, and I wanted the people reviewing my CV to understand that I speak good English. So that's why I'm putting it in. If not, I won't put it. If I'm a local, there's no reason. And I speak French. I stayed in France for like 2 years, so luckily for me, I speak French. Microsoft Office Sheet, I would advise you don't even put it on your CV. The reason why it was on my CV is probably I didn't know much at that time. But I mean, 2023, you can use Microsoft Office, so you don't need to put it in your CV. So moving on to the next one, which is the interest part. You can see I enjoy creating content. I put it at YouTube. Football fan, I put it at Manchester United. Now this one is controversial because if the person is not a Man United fan, you guys will probably be gisting. But listen, in the UK, that's not really a problem. And I put it there. I visit 7 countries in 3 different continents. You can put it there. Don't just put traveling. So the person will be like, oh wow, 7 different countries. Oh, tell me about it. Tell me about these places. Imagine if a person like traveling, and that's why you want to bring life to the interest segment. Now, this part you can bring in your other certification, and that's why I actually put this on, because it's very relevant to the role. published article. This article is not really necessary to put anything. If you don't have article, if you have a blog, you can put it on your CV. It's very interesting because they want to see what it's all about. In my own case, it's finance related, and like I said, the consulting role I applied to is finance related. So that's it, you can see. And I actually also didn't stop there. I quantified over 6,000 downloads. And I put the affiliation. The reason why I put the affiliation is if you apply to a company, for example, they have affiliation with SEO London or Bright Network, they'll understand that, okay, listen, you're one of our own. It doesn't mean they'll give you an unfair advantage, but it just shows that, okay, you get like a sort of like an indirect recognition. So as promised, I'll be sharing with you guys a free CV template that can actually help improve your chances of getting a job offer here in the UK. Exactly the same one with respect to the one I've just presented with you guys. Also, if you'd like to take it one step further, I'm very happy to review your CV, and I'll be linking that in the description box below and also in the comment section. One more thing though, I'm genuinely very passionate about helping you secure the job that you're actually dreaming about. And that's why I would love you to join my community where we actually share information that actually help international students secure the job they're actually dreaming about. Also, I'd like you to complement this piece of information with respect to the CV presentation by actually watching this video where I actually share top tip on how I was able to ace all of my assessment center or any interview I actually have coming up in the UK. See you in the video.